Okay.
What's up? What are you doing?
So I usually start these interviews out by just kind of like letting the person introduce themselves. Hold on one second here. So you're 30 years old.
Yeah, dude, I'm 30 years old. I look like I'm 12, but I'm not.
Don't say that. Algorithm will get you.
That's true.
You're from
30.
Atlanta, right? Atlanta, Georgia?
Yeah, originally from Georgia, but just moved to Las Vegas like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, oh my gosh, that's a huge move.
Yeah.
And then you do like cover music as well as like your own singles.
Yeah.
We
So
got
we can.
So Cold, Landslide, No Time to Die, Pity Party, Paralyzed, SOS, About Me, Let You In, and now what? You're dropping another one, right?
Yeah. So April 25th, I'm dropping a new one called Alone. It's like an acoustic love song type vibe. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit. So, I mean, that's a lot, obviously. Uh, but okay, this is always my first question. How did you get into TikTok, right? Because I interview people on TikTok. That's
So
obviously not everything about you. That's a side quest for you, but
yeah, so for me, I think it's probably the same as a lot of people that got on TikTok. So it all started with the pandemic for me, honestly. So um, at the time, I actually lived in New York. I had just moved to New York not long before the pandemic hit, and I was doing my music and stuff. But back then, I was still working like a full-time job too. So I was like delivering for Amazon back then, and then the pandemic hit and shit just went crazy. Everybody went into lockdown, and I'm like, damn, like what do I do? So TikTok had just started popping off. Like it wasn't really like a big thing yet. Not a lot of people were on it, and so I was like, all right, well, I don't really have like anything better to do, so I'm just gonna film videos of me singing or whatever, and just post it on TikTok and see what happens. And so I posted a couple, and they actually did like decent numbers, especially for having 0 followers on this app. So I was like, okay, well, shit, like maybe I could actually do this. And so I just started committing like all my time every day to just making as many videos as I could and just being as consistent as I could. And it just started to kind of snowball over time. And yeah, I mean, honestly, like the pandemic was crazy, but if it wasn't for that happening, like it honestly like changed my life. This app is crazy. So.
yeah. So wait, was the first post that you made, was that like a cover song or was
Yeah,
it your own
think,
song?
yeah, I think I posted one of my songs at first, and then I think the next post that I did after that was like a few covers, and those did pretty well. And so I just kept doing that and just let it do its thing and see what happened.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. That's really cool. Um, so you started playing guitar at 12, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
is that like how you got into music? Like your parents gave you a guitar and you're like, let's just roll with
yeah,
it?
so my brother got a guitar for Christmas when I was like 11. Like my younger brother, he's like 6 years younger than me, but he's right-handed and I'm left-handed, so I play guitar left-handed. So my mom was like, "All right, well, if you're gonna actually do this, because I like took his and was just playing it all the time upside down." And my mom was like, "All right, well, we'll get you like some cheap starter guitar and see if you actually follow through and want to do it." So for my birthday, I got like this cheap little guitar, and just never stopped, dude. And I started singing when I was no wait, I started playing guitar at 11 actually, and then singing at 12. Then I joined a band at 13 and started writing songs at 13.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really cool. That is so cool. He started writing songs at 13, guys. What were you guys doing at 13? I know what I was doing, so. Wait, so you're left-handed. Do you think that affects like, I mean, obviously it affects like daily life stuff, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
writing, whatever, what have you, like bumping elbows with the person next to you at your desk or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, that's
But
so annoying. Like if you're eating with somebody, you have to make sure you eat on the correct side, or you're gonna be like bumping into them while you're trying to eat. It's so frustrating. But I mean, my mom's left-handed too, so
I wonder if
gotta,
it's genetic. I don't. I wish I knew
I
that.
think it is. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you
Your
think it
parents?
affects any like neurology or like anything about the way that your brain works, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I've always heard that people that are like left-handed use a different part of their brain. Like naturally more creative and artsy than they are like smart, like as far as book smart stuff goes. So,
Yeah.
and I was dog shit at school, so I'll just like let that speak for itself. So
But
I don't know.
always artsy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, I want to know about your process. Like, okay, when you're making music, obviously you started at 13. That's like super young. Like, do you get writer's block? Like, what does your process look like? I mean, what's your favorite part? What's your least favorite part? Because obviously it all comes down to that final product, but like that's all we see. We don't see like you writing the song, we don't see you producing it. Um,
So typically, I usually always start out with an instrumental first, and then I'll like build melodies or lyrics or whatever on top of that and record vocals last. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll just come up like what I love to do. I feel like I write my best vocal melodies and stuff like that, and just like hooks and everything when I'm driving around in my car. I'll just have it be hella silent. I just drive around my car, and I'll have my phone open on the like the voice recording app, and I'll just press record, and I'll just like hum shit and just come up with random stuff. And that's how like probably 80% of like the choruses for my songs get made, and then I'll like go in and make an instrumental or whatever, and then I'll just see if it fits and just try to piece things together. But most of the time, I always start that way. The
are
majority
you
of the time,
religious at all?
I go back and forth. I go back and forth. I grew up in like a very like Southern Baptist Christian household, and like I got like baptized and saved and all that when I was a kid. But as I got older, I like questioned things and then went back and forth with it. And I don't know. It's always been a thing I've always like battled with.
Yeah.
Uh, So I don't
So,
know. I don't really think about it much anymore. But it used to be something that like would stress me out when I was a kid a lot.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean,
not
I
knowing
get
what it
that.
is.
I get that. That's heavy for a lot of people for sure. So you're not alone in that at all. That's probably one of the most like controversial things in
Hmm.
life.
Yeah.
Um, so okay, if you were to like identify with a specific religion, which one would it be? Same thing.
Honestly, honestly, if I were ever to be like super religious, I feel like more like Buddhist than anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Because like when I do think religion is very interesting. Like everything about it's really cool. Like when I went to college for a little while, eventually ended up dropping out and pursuing music, obviously. But when I was in college, I did like religious studies classes where we went around to all these different like Hindu temples and Buddhist temples and like all these different denominations of religions and just observed and just learned about what they teach and stuff like that. And it was super interesting. But especially being somebody that didn't heavily identify with any religion, it kind of made me be able to view things from an outside perspective and just appreciate what it was and not just be like, oh, well, I disagree with that. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? So it's interesting being able to just absorb it and be like, whoa, like, this is crazy. So,
Yeah. No, I like that. I mean, I feel like you should. Is it even true religion or faith if you don't question it once in your life? Like if
I
you're just
think
blind faith isn't
probably
really good. In
I
my
think everybody probably has that experience at some point, and then I think a lot of people maybe have a certain event or something that happens to them in their life that causes them to be like, I guess, to find that faith.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've kind of had like not a power struggle, but like a mental struggle with that throughout life, just trying to like understand like what we're here for and like
Yeah.
everything. I think everybody does that, like as humans, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah. The reason I asked is because you're talking about the way that you come up with like song lyrics or just like the beginning of writing a new song is just like driving around in your car. So it's like, is that a flow state or like does it come to you? Like, do you feel like it's just like
I think
spiritual or
honestly, you know what I really think it is I think it's because I'm incredibly ADHD. And so being in the car and driving gives me something to do so that I'm able to like focus and not find a million other things to do or otherwise just crash. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm focused on driving and then it's just silence with no distractions and I'm able to just be in my own space and just let my brain like do its thing.
yeah, that makes sense.
I've
I'm
never really thought about it until you mentioned that, but I really think that's probably what it is, honestly. Because whenever I try to
yeah.
sit here and write at home, like I find like all these random things. Like I'll just be sitting here writing, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna change the color of the light. You know, like just pressing buttons and like doing all this random stuff. But yeah, I think when I'm just by myself in my car and I can just focus, it's like the best place.
I like it.
Thanks for the having us.
Okay, what's the best song you've written and what's the worst song you've written?
Um, I think my best song that I've written, as far as the ones that are out right now, I have one called Chokehold that I think is like the best one. And also, I feel like it was the coolest one for me to make because it has a feature on it from this dude named Kellen Quinn. He's from a band called Sleeping with Sirens. So, if any of you guys know who Sleeping with Sirens is, they were like a huge band in like the alternative emo scene when I was growing up. Like we were saying earlier, I'm 30, so like that was like the peak of my like teenage years, and so I was a huge fan of him, dude, and like looked up to him forever. So being able to have a song with him is so sick. So I'm super proud of that one. But
Dude,
there's a
that's
lot,
awesome.
there's a lot of songs that I've written that I hate. There's a
Really?
lot. Yeah, especially the earlier ones, like probably the first maybe 5 or 6 songs that I have out, like on Spotify. I absolutely hate them. I won't listen to them. I even think about taking them down. But there's people that do like them, so that's why I don't take them down. But they make me cringe when I hear them.
Yeah, but you're your own harshest critic too, right?
Yeah,
So
100%. But I think what it is because when you start a project as an artist and then you grow throughout the years, your whole perspective changes and you know how much better you are at something now than you were then. So I just hear it and I'm like, damn, like what was I thinking?
yeah. Yeah.
But
No, you have. I've heard them and you definitely have. And I like you're talking the one that you said too. What is it? What is it called? The first one. Chokehold. That's my favorite. I like that one too. I don't know if it's because it's like more recent, and when I was scrolling, it's like you know how like artists they'll put like 10 videos to the same song just to put it
yeah,
out there. Yeah, I don't know if that's why, like just because of the repetition and like I heard it first. I don't know.
yeah.
It's a good song, regardless. So. Okay, so let's see. Let's transition a little bit here. So, are you dating anybody?
Yeah,
Is her name Megan?
yeah.
Okay, cool. How long have you guys been together?
So in May it'll be 2 years.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Um,
It's time. It's
are,
been
are either of you like the jealous type, or is it like,
not really no, because I mean, well, it's like it's crazy because the entire like almost 2 years we've been long distance, right? So she lives in Maine, and until like a couple weeks ago, I lived in Georgia. Now I'm in Nevada, which is even further. So um, I feel like a lot of couples, especially if you're long distance like that, will probably struggle with like trust and being jealous and stuff like that. But we've never really ever had that issue. But I think it's because her and I have always been very open with each other about everything, like from the start, and like we've both been through a lot of shit with relationships where we just had really rough shit happen to us in the past. So I think that us both dealing with those types of things and then just having like a really strong trust and bond in general. And also, I think, you know, like I've noticed with us being like older now too, like there's a lot of ways that I would handle situations now that I would have handled horribly, a few years ago. So I think just like growth and being mature has made a big difference too. But nah, like we've never really had like a jealousy issue or anything like that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's super healthy, dude. I mean, like, jealousy is a normal human emotion, but
Yeah.
this is what I've discovered with my own relationship crap, you know? It's all about how you handle it. And like having that open communication is everything, you
No,
know?
it's definitely super important. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, of course, like in every relationship, you have your disagreements or you fight sometimes. But it's like, at the end of the day, like you have to be willing to try to communicate to a certain degree and get past things. And especially being long distance, it gets hard because like if you're with somebody in the same city or state or whatever, and you have like an argument or like something going on specifically in your life where you need that person to be there, you just drive to them easily or whatever. But it's definitely harder when you're long distance. It's more of like a hurdle to get over. But now we've done a pretty good job of balancing it, I think. So
Yeah. Well, okay, so why did you move to LA then? Because that is it for like your music career? Like, is there something there specifically, like a
so
job or
yeah,
something?
so basically so originally I lived in Los Angeles for a while, and then I ended up moving back to Georgia where
Oh,
my family is, and I just like hung out there for like a while, and I was like, all right, this is just gonna be for a little bit until I find out what my next step is because I hate LA. I hated it out there. I didn't want to be out there anymore, and so I just kept doing my music, just kept growing, just focusing on myself, whatever, and then I became friends with these guys that run a YouTube channel called Twin Paranormal. They do like ghost hunting and stuff like that.
you told
And,
me that.
so we all just kept hanging out. We did a few collabs on their channel and everything, and we just became like best friends, dude. They're like my fucking brothers now. So eventually, we were all just like, dude, what if we just all live together? And because I mean, we're working on a lot of stuff. We're like working on this new channel that we're gonna do for YouTube. Me and one of the guys, Ryan, we're putting out a bunch of music together. We're working on an entire collab album that we have like half of it done already. So we were like, it'd make more sense just to live together and just work all the time and get stuff done. So I was like, all right, run it, let's do it. So I just moved everything out here, and we got a place, and now we're just doing it.
Cool. Yeah, so it's like the roommate situation was the main pull for you.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just kind of like working together and advancing our careers together, pretty much.
Yeah. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah,
So have you
dude.
seen one or like what's your story?
I've seen something. I don't know if I would call it a ghost. I don't know what it was, but so I've had weird experiences like all throughout my life, but I'd never like seen anything. I'd heard stuff and like just had just weird experiences that pointed to like paranormal stuff. But um, obviously, just like with anything else, like I'm very much like a person that questions everything and tries to make some sort of logical explanation for stuff. But I went with these guys on two different investigations, and both were like actually insane because they really go to like some places that are just straight up like haunted as shit, bro.
Like what do you mean? Like are you walking through and you can like hear the creaks in the house or something? Like what's
Not just that. I mean, like doors get slammed, like things are getting thrown. Like I'm not even kidding. Like we have a video that we did on their channel where we were all at this like old sanitarium, right? And we're standing there, and we had the night vision cameras, but lights are out. You can't really see much in front of you other than just like the small lights that are on the cameras. And we're just trying to like get evidence and everything. And there was a door that we had shut, like completely shut. And it's on camera that it was shut. There were no cuts or anything. We're standing there talking, and you can see in the background the door just swings open. Nobody's
And
in
that
there.
wasn't someone else opening. Like I just, I'm such a skeptic,
Literally,
but.
I swear on my life, dude. I swear there was nobody there except
But
for
what
the
if they set it up so that you would have like a genuine reaction? Like,
I'm telling you, like we went through and like did everything. We like checked everything. It was insane. It was actually crazy.
yeah.
But aside from that, dude, literally the last investigation we did, um, we were sitting in the basement of this old like also it was also a sanitarium actually. It was in Buffalo, New York, and me and Ryan were sitting in the basement, and we're in this room. And if you look out the room, you know, like a basement sometimes has those like those rectangle windows at like the top of the
Oh
wall or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
lighting. So you could see a little bit of light coming in from the street lights outside, but it was otherwise like pretty much dark. And we're sitting there, and I look up through the doorway, and just because there's like a tiny little bit of light you can see, it was like a 7 foot fucking shadow figure that just runs across the room. And I tweaked, bro. There was nobody down there but me and Ryan. Nobody was there. I was freaking out, and I've never seen anything like that before. That was the first time I ever saw some shit like that, and it was like actually cool.
Oh, it's like I want to believe you. I actually want to believe it. I want to, but like there's a mental block.
Telling you, like it's actually insane, insane. I've never seen some shit like that.
Have you done a
Yo, Bill,
Ouija
thank you,
board?
bro. Huh?
A Ouija board, like the
Yeah,
boards.
yeah. I won't do one. I will not do one. That's one thing I won't do. That's just so sketchy. Have you done one?
Yeah.
I won't do it. How was it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it like spoke or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if my friend was like just shaking out of fear and moving.
That's the
But
only thing with those is you never know if somebody's like actually doing it or what. But no, I
yeah.
don't know. Sketchy. I feel like those can actually like cause if it's like a demon or something to get attached to you. So I'm just like, no, I'm good.
I like my demons. I want to keep them close. So you are religious. You are religious.
I mean, I definitely believe there's stuff out there for sure. I just
Yeah.
don't know exactly what it is. But yeah, I definitely believe there's stuff out there.
Yeah. Cool. So, okay, so you've been with Megan for 2 years. You guys are long distance. That's hard. I feel like that's really hard. I've been in a long distance relationship. That's super hard.
Yeah.
Have your relationships always been long distance or like,
No. Honestly, the majority of relationships that I've been in were either like close distance or we lived together. So
like right away?
yeah, actually, yeah, there was
Oh
one
my
relationship where we lived together like right away. Biggest mistake of my life, and I'll never do that again. But
Yeah, wow.
I'm sure you can imagine how that turned out. Holly,
Yeah,
thank you.
no, no. Are you clean? Are you like a clean man? I feel like you're like a clean man.
100%, yeah.
I feel like you
100%.
probably attract like women that just put their wet towels in a clump on the floor.
I don't do any clutter. I don't even know if you can see, but like my room is like clean. I don't do clutter. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so I saw that you dated Jules. Is that correct?
yeah, let's not talk about that.
You don't want to talk about Jules?
No, because drama. It's not worth it.
Yeah, no drama.
No
I think
drama.
I
Let's
think
skip.
wait, is this Megan's account though? I
What?
think it is Megan's account.
What's
10.3K followers, right? Super
Yeah,
cute. She has a black beanie on, right?
yeah, that's Megan.
Yeah. She said that. Well,
Hmm?
somebody in my chat here. I'll just say this first. Somebody in my chat was like, "I want to know what happened between him and Jules," and then
No.
Jules cheated on you.
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
Yeah. Okay, we don't have to. Yeah. I didn't. Well, like, so was she a music artist? I didn't really look too much into her.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you always been with like musically, music ability people, musical people. I don't know.
21. Bonus with the singing bee. Thank you, bonus.
Was that like a positive? Was that a plus or a negative? Like, is that something that you
I think it's a negative. I don't think I'd ever do it again.
really?
Yeah, no, I think it's too much. I guess it could depend on the person and just their personality, but I think that it can get competitive. I guess
Repetitive?
like competitive,
Oh,
like a
competitive. Oh, okay.
yeah. At least in my experience, and I don't know. It's just not
Interesting.
relate
Yeah,
like environment to be competitive with your partner, you know. So I don't think I would ever do that again. So
like I feel like that's such a cool thing for like boosting each other though. So it becomes competitive how, I guess. Like what
I guess I don't know, comparing views and streams on songs and who's more successful and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's like a personal competition, not
Yeah,
necessarily like a legit competition, I guess, or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Um, okay, so you're in a long distance relationship. Okay, what are your love languages? Do you know the love languages?
Sort of, kind
Okay,
of. Explain
physical
them.
touch, words of affirmation, quality time, guys, giving gifts. What's the other one? Like acts of service.
I think for me, it's probably. Wait, what was the second one? Like the one where you
Quality time, maybe? Words of affirmation?
probably words of affirmation most,
Okay.
honestly.
Yeah.
I like reassurance, and not that I like necessarily need a lot of reassurance, but it just like feels good to to hear somebody say that they love you and care about you and like they're proud of you and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I think like that shit means a lot more to me than like getting a gift or like anything like that. Just like knowing you have somebody that cares, you know.
Yeah. No, because I was gonna say like if so for me, I tried a long distance relationship, but physical touch is my top. So it's like that was such a challenge for me, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like that's good that
Yeah,
it's
it definitely I guess depends on
affirmation
the person and like their needs and personality and stuff like that on whether or not you can like make it work for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. Um, okay, Paralyzed is a song that you wrote about your personal struggles with mental health and depression. Talk to us about what led you to struggle with mental health in the first place. Like, was it like nature versus nurture? Like, did you have like a genetic predisposition, or was it something that happened in your life, or?
I really think it can be a mix of both, but I do think it's like a genetic thing. Like what some people don't understand is depression and anxiety is really just chemical imbalance in your brain. And no matter what you have, no matter if you have 100 people who love you more than anything in the world, like supporting you at all times, and $1 million in your bank account, or anything you may ever want, like you can have everything you want in the world and still be depressed because it's just a chemical imbalance in your brain that you really can't control at the end of the day. And yeah, it's definitely a genetic thing. Like my dad had it really, really, really bad.
Mhm.
So he definitely, I think, passed it on to me and my brother. And it's just something that I've always kind of struggled with. Like you'll just have days where you just feel like so shitty. You just
Yeah.
don't do anything, and you just don't know why you feel shitty, but you feel like lower than the dirt. You know what I mean? And like you
Yeah.
can like feel this pit like inside of you, and it just sucks. And that's just how it is. And you just kind of learn to deal with it and learn to do certain things to get past it and stuff like that. But I definitely think that being able to have an outlet like how I have making music and stuff like that like makes a world of difference because if you don't have something to put your time and energy into, it'll definitely eat you up so
Yeah.
fast. And so being able to do that and also being able to write songs about it that help other people also is fucking awesome too because it's good to have something like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's like making a difference. Like it's impactful, and you're right. It's an outlet. It's cathartic to get all that just trash out somewhere. Like whether it's journaling, whether it's praying, whether it's making a song about it, whatever. Yeah, I think that's awesome. That was actually my next question. Besides pouring your like energy into your music, which I think is a great coping mechanism, what else like helps with your mental health in general? Just day to day stuff that you
For
do.
me personally, um, there's a few things. I mean, like how we were talking about how I like things like really clean and everything. If like it's a big thing with people with like mental health disorders and depression and stuff, where they just don't want to do anything, so they quickly just let their surroundings turn into a mess. You know what I mean? But like I've kind of learned over the years that the more messy your environment is, the more messy your head is.
Yeah.
And so I try to keep everything around me like together so that I feel more together on the inside too. And then another thing is just not shutting myself in the house enough or too much. You know what I mean? Like I try to go out, and even if it's not going out in public where a lot of people are, like even just going out in nature and just kind of like grounding myself and just trying to be out in the world and get some fresh air like makes a huge difference too. Because
And the
being alone,
sun.
yeah, 100%. Seriously, like being alone in your room or just in your house, like that's like the worst thing you can do for your mental health. So you gotta like get out and find things that you like about life and not stress about the things that you don't like. You know?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that's awesome. You definitely have a good head on your shoulders when it comes to this stuff. So I can tell that it's like something that you have really like gone through the depths of and found something that works for you with it. So like you mentioned your dad was depressed. Was it something that like you grew up watching and then
Yeah.
was like you could like take because I feel like kids a lot of the time they don't know the words but they understand the feelings like they don't
Yeah.
have like, the deep concepts quite down yet but they can still feel the energy and like their parents emotions
Yeah. So watching my dad growing up, like I think he had good intentions, and it's like he I don't think he wanted to be the way that he was, but watching him growing up made me understand what I didn't want to be. And so, like, not only did he have like mental health issues and like depression and anxiety and stuff like that as well, but he had bad like physical health issues too. Like he had like blood clots where he almost like died like so many times when I was growing
oh.
up. So,
was it
um,
like like unhealthy diet lack of exercise like
yeah, I think he just has like horrible, or it had like horrible genes to begin with, and then that on top of it, like he had a horrible diet in general. Like nobody could like get him to eat right or drink right, and he just kind of didn't take care of himself at all. And I think his physical health like quickly declined, which caused his mental health to get even worse. And so it's just like a bad cycle. And there was just so many issues like in the household growing up that was related to that. And yeah, so I definitely think watching that growing up made like a huge impact on how I handle situations as an adult now.
yeah how's y'all's relationship now
Well, so back in let's see, 2022, he ended up passing away from cancer. But we kind of had like a really rocky relationship just because of like a lot of the things that he did when I was growing up and like the way that he and my mom ended up falling out and having a divorce and everything when I was a teenager. And I think I didn't see his position on a lot of things because from the outside, like looking in, even though I wasn't on the outside, like I was in the household, but like I was still young and didn't understand a lot of things. Like I really was super bitter toward him and a lot of the shit that he did. But as I got older and I talked to him about those things, it kind of like I understood that he was struggling with a lot of shit that I didn't understand. And so, yeah, like whenever he got diagnosed with cancer, I moved back from LA to Georgia, and we talked about a lot of shit. And I took him to all his like cancer treatment appointments and everything for his chemo. And after that, we would like go back to his house and just sit there and talk and everything. And yeah, no, we definitely mended a lot of that relationship and got better. But yeah, it took a long time to get to that point. But I'm glad that we did though before he died.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that whole situation, along with that year, was probably the worst year of my life. Like watching him like wither away and then pass away, and then I was having like really rough relationship issues at that time. I got put in the hospital and I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease that year, and so like all kinds of like different things were happening that year that was like so rough, and I think that like really contributed to like bad mental health for me for a while, and I had to definitely like reel myself back in and like learn like all the things we were talking about how to like take care of your mental health better. So
Yeah. What autoimmune disorder were you diagnosed with?
Crohn's disease. So I
Really?
had to be extremely careful with the things that I eat. I had to. Well, I was doing injections in my stomach like bi-weekly for like a year, but recently like that medication stopped working and I started getting sick again. So they just put me on food meds that I just started that are like, thankfully working. But yeah, it's rough sometimes, but yeah, you just kind of have to be super careful with your diet and your lifestyle choices and stuff like that, so you can manage it, or else it can get like very out of control really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you follow like the FODMAP thing? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, like a lot of my diet is like the FODMAP diet, but I was never like doing it purposely. It was just kind of like a trial and error thing where I was trying different things and I found out what worked for me and I stuck to those foods. And then later on, like I read about the FODMAP diet and I was like, oh, I kind of already do that, but only because that's the way it works for me. So yeah,
well, that's good. I mean, that generally you are like almost trusting your body like with the foods. I mean, some
yeah.
people like they eat something and it's like, oh, I feel terrible, but they don't care. They just keep eating it. You know what I mean? But
Well, I mean, I kind of used to do that, like when I was younger before I got diagnosed, but like knowing that I have this now and then like there's super consequences if I don't trust my body. And also like doing what I do, like I want to be able to like live long and, you know, advance my music career and be alive and, you know, do the things that I want to do and meet my goals. So like I don't want to treat my body like shit. I try to do my best to not feel like shit all the time.
yes, yes, and that's why you look 12, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, you don't look 12. You really don't. But you look young. Everyone in my chat, when you said you were 30, it was like, you know,
Yeah, I get that in my chat every day too. People freak out about it, but
no, you really, you don't even look like a fetus or whatever. You just look like good for your age. You know what I mean? That's, if that makes sense. But anyways, um, so aside from popularity on social media and like your music, what other achievements are you proud of? Like, have you been on Maury or not Maury? Oh my gosh, what? No,
yeah, well, imagine
no, like Jimmy Fallon or something. Like, you know what I
the
mean?
screen.
Not Maury. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. No, it was a long
Yo,
night
you're
last
kind
night.
of
But what
fire,
other
dude.
accomplishments are you proud of?
Um, I mean, like just in general or like career
Yeah,
wise.
like I mean, for me, it's like even like getting to 50K, 1,000 followers is gonna be a big thing for me. But like that's
Yeah.
social media, and I've done other things. Like I have my bachelor's in psychology. I'm proud of that. You know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know.
Cool. I mean, I think that aside from like social media goals and stuff like that, I'm really just proud that I'm able to make a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah.
Like I know that sounds cheesy, but like that's something that means a lot to me. Like
Yeah.
grew up like I don't know, dude. I grew up with not a lot of friends really. I mean, I had like my friend group, but like I grew up the fucking scene kid, like the emo kid. You know, like we get fucking bullied and shit when we were in high school and stuff. But so I didn't grow up with like a lot of friends, and like I was just like super super into music and like always struggled with my mental health issues and stuff like that. And so like having music meant a lot to me, and it made like a huge impact in my life. And so if I'm able to do that and make an impact on other people, it's sick. It's so sick. There's like nothing more that I would want to do. So I don't know. I'm just proud that I'm able to do that.
Yeah,
Honestly.
you can say that's cheesy, but like if we really break down what we care about in life, it really does come down to stuff like that. So I don't think that's cheesy. Yeah, maybe it's general, like a general thing instead of like a more specific thing, but that's what we're all seeking in life.
Yeah.
I don't think that's cheesy. I think that's
At the end of the day, it's like when people ask me what my goals are, it's like, yeah, I want to keep growing and I want to reach like different levels in my career. But at the end of the day, what I've noticed, and I don't mean this to sound ungrateful because I'm so grateful for like everything that I have, but I've noticed that like the numbers on social media do not matter to how you feel on the inside at all. Because you can hit 1 million followers, 10 million followers, 30 million followers, whatever, like you're still gonna feel the same.
yeah, yeah,
You don't feel any different. Like you'll if you like put all your worth into reaching a number on social media or whatever, like you're still gonna have the void that you're not gonna fulfill inside. So I don't know. That's why I try to make my like real life goals something that actually means something. Otherwise, there's not going to be any reason to keep doing it.
yeah. No, and it's so real too. Like when you're at 1,000 followers, you want 10,000. When you're at 10,000, you want 20. And it's never like it literally you do not change how you feel at all. You even forget that you wanted to be there in the first place. Like, maybe like a crazy milestone like a million is like a dopamine rush, but then after that it's like you're the same. Like nothing
You're
has
still the same after. So
yeah.
yeah, it's
So
crazy. I
yeah.
don't think a lot of people realize that until you actually are in that position where you're like, whoa, I feel exactly the same.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, for sure. Okay. Let's see. What did I have? Um, dang it. I had a question that I just thought of and then we got into that. And it was a good one too.
Are you almost at 1 million followers? Yeah, I'm close. I'm super
Guys, what
close.
questions do you have for Milrose? I'm gonna think of this question. I don't care. I will sit here all night.
If anybody has questions in my chat or in her chat, like feel free to ask. I'll answer as many as I can while she's thinking of her next question.
Yeah. Oh, that was it. Cuckoo. Okay. So Cuckoo said, how would he label his aesthetic? My question was, how did you get into the aesthetic that you have? Was it something that you saw on like TV? Like, were your friends dressing like that? Like, what, you know what I mean? Like,
You know what it
what?
really was? So no, I didn't. I really didn't have friends that dressed like this because I grew up in like the middle of the country in Georgia, and so everybody was wearing like camo and cowboy boots, and nobody dressed like me at all. It was like a weird ass thing for me to be doing where I was from. And so you remember MySpace?
Yeah, I was never on it because I'm.
I'm that old. So um, I remember getting a MySpace account, and that's where like the emo like scene days like really kind of like cultivated. So I remember seeing bands and stuff, and like discovering bands on there, like Bring to the Horizon and like stuff like bands like that. And I would see their photos, and I'm like, dude, they look so sick, bro. They got the choppy black hair, and they're wearing like skin tight jeans and like.
Yeah, I remember that on YouTube.
Yeah, and like back then we were all stretching our ears really big too, like with the gauges. Mine are downsized now, but mine used to be like huge. But
Oh, these always freaked me out so much.
yeah, mine were like this big. I used to have a septum piercing. I had snake bites. I had like all of that stuff. But yeah, like I think back then, like that's what kind of inspired me to become this way. Like even before that, though, when I was in elementary school, like I was into bands like Green Day and Fall Out Boy and like earlier on pop punk bands and stuff like that. But once I found like metalcore and like the emo scene and shit, like on MySpace, I was like, dude, this is sick. And I
Yeah.
just from there.
And you took it on. What was your MySpace name?
Oh my god. I honestly don't even remember. It was probably something really stupid. Let me think. I want to say it was like Blake Shreds or some shit like that. I don't even know. It was something so dumb.
It probably, yeah, that's not even that bad though, to be honest. Um, okay, who do you look up to the most musically? Like who's your musical idol?
Um, my favorite band has always been Motley Crue. I've always
Motley
loved Motley
Crue.
Crue
Okay.
because, dude, they went like the hardest of like any band for like ever. Like they're just sick, dude. They're so sick. But as far as like looking up to individual people and what I want to be, I always just try to find inspiration in like good humble artists. Like I feel like an example is like Post Malone, Jelly Roll, like guys like that are just like very humble, just good people that do good shit for their community. Like I love that stuff.
Okay, okay. So you're almost looking at the person more than the music.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because like
Yeah.
I listen to those artists, but
Hmm.
it's not even their music that I'm more inspired by. It's like who they are and what they do with their platform as an artist. I think is like the coolest thing. Like they're just good people. You know what I mean? And that's like what I want to be as an artist.
Dude, that's so respectable. It's I'm not gonna lie, like it's really hard to find people on TikTok at least that I feel like have the same values that you have.
Dude, there's a lot of clout demons on this app. It's bad,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
cloud
yeah,
demon is one word for it. I feel like you can be a cloud demon without being a demon. Like you could be a cloud demon without like putting people
yeah,
down and like
yeah, true.
like if you do it the right way, like you could shoot people like people can dress up crazy and like I don't know. There's be funny. There's so many ways to do it
There's
the right way.
definitely people on this app that just straight up like shit on people for views.
Right.
Like it's wild. So, yeah, for sure. But
Yeah. Well, that's what I had, honestly. Sorry, it was a quick interview, but like I was really trying to find a lot about you, and I mean I found some things, but I guess you're private, so
yeah, I don't know. I never really put a lot of my personal stuff out there. Really, I don't know.
okay. Tell us your deepest darkest secret.
Deepest darkest secret. I don't know if I have like super deep dark secrets. I kind of tell everybody everything if they ask. For the most part. For the most part, unless I know it's gonna cause drama. But
Right. You
I don't
can't
know.
talk
But
about rules.
yeah, we can't do that. But when I was in second grade, I shit myself on the swing set at school.
Yeah.
Now you guys know that.
That's not your deepest darkest secret. That's like that. It was dark down there for sure, but
Yeah, no, it was definitely dark for sure. It was
I don't know
dark
how
as
deep
shit.
into the pants it was either.
It was all the pants for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh my gosh, that's fun. Wait, so were you bullied? Were you bullied in school? You kind of mentioned that.
Well, I mean, I started getting bullied bad when I was in like fourth grade because I was super overweight as a kid.
Really?
Um, First, it was for that. Then I lost weight, and when I was in like seventh grade, that's whenever I started dressing like super like emo kid, and then I got hella shit for that. But and that lasted pretty much all through high school. But once people found out that I made music and that I was good at it in high school, then people wanted to be my friend, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? You literally talk shit on me for the past like 6 years. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. It was a weird time for sure.
I feel like that's always how it goes. People are like they want to glaze you the second that they realize that you're like actually cool.
There
Like
are actually people that I went to like middle school with that I have not talked to since middle school that will message me and try to hit me up. And I'm like, I barely remember you even exist, dude. Like you're trying to be homies, and I go, don't
you're
you
like, oh
really?
my gosh, remember when we were best
Yeah,
friends? Like,
exactly. It's like
ooh.
what?
No, I don't remember that at all, actually.
100%. It's so weird.
So your new song is coming out tomorrow, or when is it coming out?
April 25th, like 3.5 weeks from now.
Okay, okay. And it's what? It's called Alone?
Yeah.
What is that about?
So I actually wrote it for Megan because we're long distance. Like I don't know, it just kind of like it can be a struggle sometimes, like balancing that. Like I said, like when you need somebody to be there and they can't always be there. So I wrote it for her, basically, for something for her to listen to, like when she feels alone, so she knows that she's not. You know what I mean?
That's really cute, bro.
Thanks.
That's so cute. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not jealous or anything, but I that is a standard. I need that in my life. I need a man that is like gonna like write a fucking song for me. But yeah, yeah. No, that's really cool. You guys have a great relationship, it seems like, honestly.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I could play it for you guys if you guys want to hear it.
yes. I was gonna ask if you were like able to or if you can't because it's not released or what.
Let me know if it comes through. Okay, I don't know how the connection will be with like the speakers and everything, how it'll sound, but oh, and at the beginning, I sampled like I don't even know what movie it is. I already forgot, but I
That's
sampled like some random movie where it's like this line where this guy's like listing off like all these different things he loves about this lady or whatever. But I don't know, so I sampled that and put that at the beginning.
You got a coffee stain on your favorite shirt with no makeup on, but your everything is perfect to me.
you have to sing it.
Look at me when I can see
Can you hear it?
No, because you're not singing it. So
Came home and all the roads between you and I seem so long, but I swore that I would never leave. I wish that you could see what I can see. It's a long way down, falling for you, but I'll be there soon. If we hit the ground and my face turns blue, it was all for you. If you're lonely, take my body, take my black lungs and my soul.
keep going. There's a
Nice. That's good. That's really good.
thanks.
Yeah. And it's way cooler that like okay, obviously like anybody can just pop out a song, but that has purpose behind it.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of started writing it a long time ago too. Like I've been working on that song for like months and months and months. Like, I think that song was recorded in 3 different places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I always make music literally like from my bedroom. So I recorded I recorded the chorus of it when I was at my mom's house. She like broke her leg or whatever, and I stayed with my mom to like take care of her while she was like hobbling around on crutches and shit. So I took my music stuff over there, recorded the chorus there,
Okay.
and then went back to my apartment, recorded the first verse, then moved out to Vegas and recorded the last verse and just finished it. So
That's cool. That's really cool. It just shows that it was like important to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, guys, everybody follow Milrose and take a look at his bio. You guys can pre-save his new song Alone, so you guys should go do that.
Yeah, go do that right now. It's free.
Yeah, it's
It
free.
doesn't cost anything.
Do
Except
it,
for like
guys.
5 seconds of your time. That's it.
Yeah. So, dude, thanks for the interview. You're like
Oh, thank you for the interview.
you're the reason why I'm doing this because like there are so many real ass people on this app that like are you're not slept on by any means, but like you know, you don't always get to like open up. Like a lot of the time it's like let's battle, let's, you know,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
play a song or it's like entertainment, let's, you know, do some comedy, whatever. And like it's just hard to open up. So, yeah.
No, this is cool. Keep doing what you're doing. These interviews are really, really cool.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, I hate saying goodbye, but I gotta go. So.
All right, cool. I'll see you later. Thank you.